Did you ever felt you're actually little more aggressive than Sigma archetype? Not loudmouth bully like alpha males, but little more courageous, confronting and criticizing. You think deeper than Sigma males and aggressive toward leading thyself, and often find being obstinate. Let me explain this amazing, dangerous version of Sigma males. 1. The Defiance Spirit. The Zeta male is a constant force of disruption, a catalyst for change. He is not content with the status quo. He seeks to challenge it at every turn. He is a nonconformist, a rebel, a revolutionary. He is not afraid to speak truth to power, to question authority, to challenge the prevailing wisdom. He is a vocal critic of societal norms, a relentless opponent of injustice. His defiance is not merely a gesture. It is a way of life. The Zeta male is a lone wolf, a solitary figure who eschews the company of others, where Sigma males are more like tiger, independent, silent, and adaptable. Zeta males are not interested in fitting in conforming to societal expectations. This defiance aligns with the concept of moral courage in psychology, the willingness to take a stand for what's right, even when it comes at a cost. Studies, like the one led by Hanna and Avolio in 2011, reveal that such courage often isolates individuals, but also gives them a profound sense of purpose and identity. From a Stoic perspective, your rebellion reflects the principle of living in accordance with nature, not societal nature, but your inner truth. Seneca wrote, "If you wish to be loved, love yourself first." For you, loving yourself means refusing to betray your principles, no matter the cost. Unlike Sigmas, who manipulate the system silently, or Alphas, who work within it, your defiance is your message. You don't just push against the walls of authority. You remind everyone they don't have to live within them. His journey is one of self-discovery, a relentless pursuit of authenticity. He is deeply self-aware, understanding the complexities of his own psyche. He embraces his contradictions, his strengths, and his weaknesses. He is not defined by external validation. His worth is intrinsic. 2. You reject the chains others wear. You think the rules are pointless. You don't just deny, you argue. A more aggressive version of Sigma male. The unspoken ones, the ones people follow without question. While others, like Sigma males, might navigate these rules and even use them to their advantage, or alpha males try to dominate within those boundaries. You're different. You don't just sidestep the game. You question why it even exists. For you, societal norms are like a dress code for a party you'd never attend. Sigma males might slip in unnoticed, using the system to their benefit, and alpha males might demand the best spot in the room. But you rip off the tie, toss it aside, and walk away. You don't just ignore the rules, you strip them of any power over you. Psychologically, this mindset taps into the principle of reactance theory. The idea that when people feel their freedom is threatened, they push back. But for you, it's deeper. You don't just resist control, you redefine freedom altogether, breaking away even from the need to play along. The Zeta male is a rebel, not by choice, but by nature. He challenges authority, not for the sake of rebellion, but because he recognizes its inherent limitations. He is a nonconformist, a free thinker, a solitary soul who marches to the beat of his own drum. Unlike Sigmas, who occasionally leverage the system, and Alphas who thrive within it, you dismantle the importance of the system itself. To you, society's norms aren't challenges or tools. They're irrelevant. Your freedom isn't just personal. It's absolute, carved from your refusal to wear invisible chains. 3. You're not interested in taking charge, are you? But following someone else. That feels even worse. While Sigma males might step up to lead when needed, or Alphas thrive in commanding others, you carve your own path entirely, indifferent to where the crowd goes. Leadership and followership both require playing a role within the group, but you reject the script altogether. You see it like a river. Sigmas may steer the flow to their advantage, and alphas might try to dam it up, controlling its course. But you're not in the water at all. You're hiking along the shore, heading somewhere completely different. To you, this isn't isolation. It's clarity. You don't need to steer others, nor do you want them steering you. Psychologically, this reflects self-concept clarity, the extent to which someone has a stable, clearly defined sense of self. Research, Campbell, 1996, shows that people with high self-concept clarity are less influenced by external pressures and group dynamics. That's you in a nutshell. You know what you want, who you are, and where you're going. Why would you let anyone else's opinions alter that? He is not afraid to question the status quo, to challenge the prevailing wisdom. The Zeta male is a solitary figure, a man who prefers the company of his own thoughts. He's not interested in small talk, in superficial relationships. He is a deep thinker, a philosopher, a man who seeks meaning in everything. 4. You value experience over age. You've never been the type to respect someone simply because they're older, have you? For you, respect isn't tied to the years someone has lived, but to the wisdom they've gained. While others may blindly follow the notion that age equals authority, you challenge it, holding experience and competence as the true measures of worth. This mindset is kind of similar to Sigmas, who may quietly observe and reject such hierarchies, but have regard for what they gain or at least survive. But alphas who often share respect simply for their position. You, on the other hand, critically judge each person based on what they bring to the table. You're not afraid to call out hollow authority, even when it's uncomfortable. To you, truth outweighs tradition. This attitude aligns with the psychological concept of meritocracy orientation, which values effort and ability over inherited or assumed status. Research shows that individuals with this mindset tend to challenge established norms, promoting fairness and personal accountability over blind adherence to hierarchy. Philosophically, this reflects the Stoic approach to judging others based on their actions, rather than superficial traits. As Epictetus said, do not pride yourself on any superiority that is not your own. You extend this logic to others, focusing on what they've truly earned rather than what the world hands them through time or privilege. Unlike Sigmas, who might tactfully navigate such situations, or alphas, who lean on societal norms for validation, you stand apart. Your respect is earned, not given, and your willingness to judge critically ensures your relationships are grounded in authenticity, not assumptions. 5. You disdain groupthink. You don't trust the collective mind, do you? While others might find comfort in group decisions or majority rule, you see it as a breeding ground for mediocrity. For you, individuality matters far more than consensus. While Sigmas can navigate group dynamics when needed, and alphas often lead them, you reject the idea altogether. To you, the hive mind dilutes truth and creativity. You're not afraid to stand apart, even when everyone else is moving in the same direction. If an idea doesn't hold up to scrutiny, you'll question it, no matter how many people agree on it. It's not rebellion. It's principle. You prioritize clear thinking over collective comfort, knowing that truth is rarely found in the safety of numbers. Psychologically, this ties to the Ash conformity experiments 1950s, which revealed how easily people abandon their judgment to align with a group. You, however, embody nonconformity, a trait linked to independent thinkers who value personal integrity over social approval. From a Stoic perspective, this disdain for groupthink aligns with their emphasis on rationality and self-mastery. Marcus Aurelius said, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." Your commitment to independent thought reflects this ideal, resisting the pull of the crowd in favor of clarity and logic. Unlike sigmas, who might subtly influence group dynamics, or alphas, who dominate them, you step away entirely. For you, the path of the crowd isn't just unappealing, it's a distraction from the pursuit of truth. 6. Rebellion is your nature. You don't rebel just to make noise. It's not about being dramatic or seeking attention. For you, rebellion is woven into your identity. While sigmas quietly subvert authority when it suits them, or best choice for him and his family, and alphas often challenge rules to assert dominance, your defiance is more fundamental. You rebel because you can't do otherwise. It's how you express who you are. Rules, traditions, and systems that don't align with your values are things you can't accept, not because you're looking for a fight, but because compromising your principles feels like betraying yourself. Every act of rebellion you make is rooted in purpose, not impulse. Psychologically, this reflects the concept of constructive disobedience, where defiance stems from a moral or ethical drive rather than simple opposition. Studies like Milgram's experiments in the 1960s showed that many people comply with authority, even when it conflicts with their morals. But you'd have likely been one of the few who refused. Philosophically, your rebellion mirrors the Stoic idea of living in harmony with your own nature. As Seneca wrote, "He who does not follow his own nature cannot be free." For you, rebellion isn't just about rejecting others' rules. It's about embracing your own truth. Unlike sigmas, who might quietly maneuver around rules, or alphas, who thrive in challenging them head-on, your rebellion is deeper. It's not just an act. It's a declaration of self, a way of carving a life true to your values, no matter the cost. 7. You thrive in extreme independence. You've probably heard it 100 times. Humans are social creatures, right? But you don't buy it, do you? For you, independence isn't just a preference. It's the core of your being. A more extreme version of Sigma male. While Sigma males value their freedom too, and alphas thrive on interdependence, you push even further, shunning dependence altogether. Your autonomy isn't just a boundary, it's a fortress. You don't just live alone, you excel in solitude. Collaboration often feels like a compromise to you, a watering down of your vision. You'd rather go it alone, knowing that every decision, success, and failure is entirely your own. Independence for you isn't loneliness, it's liberation. But psychologically, this taps into individualism, a cultural dimension studied by Gert Hofstede, where personal goals outweigh group needs, while extreme independence can sometimes lead to isolation. For you, it's a deliberate choice, not a consequence. Research on self-reliance suggests that highly independent individuals often experience greater personal growth and resilience. Embrace freedom over comfort. In Stoicism, independence aligns with the idea of self-sufficiency, or autarkia. Seneca wrote, "The greatest blessings of mankind are within us and within our reach." Your extreme independence reflects this philosophy. You look inward for strength, rejecting the need for external crutches or validation. Where sigmas seek personal freedom and alphas lean on collective support, you take it to the extreme. Your independence is a statement, proof that a life lived by your rules is not only possible but deeply fulfilling. 8. You redefine success. You don't measure success the way most people do. It's very similar to Sigma mindset, but deeper. Money don't attract you at all. While society prizes wealth, power, or status, you find those measures shallow. Sigmas might achieve success on their terms, and alphas often embody the traditional metrics, but you reject the framework entirely. For you, success is deeply personal, tied to fulfillment, freedom, and living authentically. You might look at someone with a flashy title or a big house and wonder if they're truly happy. To you, chasing those things feels like running on a treadmill, motion without meaning. Instead, you define success by the quiet moments, the sense of alignment between your actions and your values, the freedom to live as you choose, and the ability to stand by your principles no matter what. This perspective resonates with the psychological concept of intrinsic motivation, where people find satisfaction in the activity itself rather than external rewards. Studies like those by DC and Ryan, 1985, show that intrinsic goals, such as personal growth or meaningful relationships, lead to greater happiness and well-being than chasing external markers of success. Stoicism reinforces this mindset, with philosophers like Epictetus reminding us that external possessions or achievements are fleeting. He wrote, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." For you, success isn't about accumulation. It's about living in harmony with your inner compass. 9. Your integrity is unshakable. You don't bend, do you? When it comes to your principles, there's no compromise. Where others might waver under pressure, whether to fit in, climb the ladder, or avoid conflict, you stand firm. Sigmas can adapt and alphas impose their will, but you remain immovable, guided by an unwavering commitment to your values. It's actually have its own downside. When storms hit, you'll be the one who breaks first. Though it can be liberating, your decisions aren't made for applause or approval. They're rooted in authenticity. You'd rather face the consequences of staying true to yourself than enjoy the hollow rewards of conformity. It's not stubbornness, it's clarity. You know who you are, and no amount of external pressure can shake that foundation. This aligns with the psychological idea of moral integrity, which involves acting consistently with one's ethical beliefs, even when faced with challenges. Research shows that people with high moral integrity experience greater peace of mind and self-respect, even if their choices are unpopular or misunderstood. Stoics saw integrity as a cornerstone of a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." You embody this principle, choosing honesty over convenience and principles over fleeting gains. Unlike Sigmas, who might adjust their approach to maintain independence, or alphas, who enforce their will to achieve their goals, your authenticity is absolute. You don't live for the world's approval. You live for truth, ensuring that every action you take is an honest reflection of your inner self. 10. You embrace yourself fully. You've made peace with who you are, haven't you? If you did, you may be a zeta male, a more deeper version of sigma male. Your flaws, your strengths, your contradictions, they're not things you hide or try to fix. While sigma males are self-aware too, and alpha males thrive on confidence, your self-acceptance runs deeper. You don't just know yourself, you own it entirely, without needing anyone's validation. This isn't arrogance, it's clarity. You see the messy, complex parts of yourself and welcome them as part of your identity. You've learned that trying to mold yourself to fit someone else's idea of perfect is a trap. Instead, you've chosen authenticity over approval. You are who you are, and that's enough. Psychologically, this ties to unconditional self-acceptance, a concept explored by Albert Ellis, the founder of rational emotive behavior therapy. Ellis argued that true mental health comes from accepting yourself, not because of your achievements, but in spite of your imperfections. This acceptance builds resilience and shields you from the need for external validation, a strength you embody naturally. From a stoic lens, your profound self-awareness mirrors their call for inner peace. Epictetus reminds us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. You've already taken the first step by fully understanding who you are, which allows you to live unapologetically according to your principles. Where alphas project confidence and sigmas quietly reflect, you take it further. Your self-awareness is not just a tool. It's the foundation of your freedom. You live authentically, free from the need to prove yourself to anyone. The Zeta male is a master of self, a man who has achieved a profound level of self-awareness and self-acceptance. He is not defined by his ego. He is grounded in reality. He is not afraid to confront his own shadow, to acknowledge his flaws, and to embrace his imperfections. He is a man of integrity, a man of honor. The Zeta male is a solitary figure, a man who prefers the company of his own thoughts. He is not interested in small talk, in superficial relationships. He is a deep thinker, a philosopher, a man who seeks meaning in everything. This is the end of this video. I must appreciate what you do for this channel. Your support is vital for us. Thanks.